everybody. How you doing today? Today we're going to be doing a pork shoulder on the pit. We're going to be using cherry pellets. It's a pork shoulder, or also called a pork picnic. I'm going to give you a shot of what it looks like. I just put some rub on it. So there you go. There's the pork shoulder. Use a little bit of some rub that a friend of mine got me called the Rivertown Foods rib rub, but it's good for pork. I'm also going to sprinkle on there some of this rub I got from Cabela's called a Kansas City rub. It's a mix of really good flavors, a little sweet. This one's a little bit more peppery. Then we're going to come back later and we're going to put on some of this Pappy's barbecue sauce at the very end to glaze it. We're going to put her on at about 250 degrees for about 4 hours. We're going to keep spritzing it during that time. I'll come back and show you with a mixture of apple juice and red wine vinegar spritz. And then after about 4 hours, we're gonna wrap it, and we're going to stick a probe in it, and we're going to get it up to about 198 degrees internal temperature, at which time we'll pull it off. We'll let it rest. We'll glaze it up with some barbecue sauce and maybe some maple syrup, and put it back on to caramelize, and then we'll take it off, and it'll be time to break it apart, and I'll show you that. So give me a second. We'll get her on the pit, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, we're outside. Got the pit started. Again, it's going to get up to 250 degrees. You look in here, got my cherry pellets for my cherry smoke on this Traeger. One thing I wanted to tell you before we put it on, I omitted to mention, excuse the craziness of the video, is you want to use some of this cooking spray to spray on this part of the shoulder here, just to kind of protect it. One of the things that I'm also going to do is I'm going to wrap it with this towel. I'm going to put it right around this part as I put it on the pit, and that way it protects it so it doesn't burn and makes it look pretty and all. We're not really going to eat that part because it's not going to be crunchy or anything like a Cuban pork shoulder, but it'll protect it from burning, and the other part will develop a nice bark. As you can see, it's nice and thick. And I'll be continuing to apply rub. Some of it's starting to set in down here a little bit as it comes up to room temperature. It looks like it needs a little bit on the sides to get her a nice coating for a nice bark. So we're going to be putting her on in a second. I'll show you what that looks like once this comes up to temp. Usually with a Traeger, you got to get it to come up to temp, but leave the lid open because it really smokes out a whole lot until it gets the firebox going. As you can see, it's starting to kind of, I don't know if you can see that, build up a little bit of smoke now, but it's going to, really look crazy in a minute, and then we'll close the lid and let it start coming up to temp before we put it on. So thanks. Hey, we're back again. Finally got her on the pit. Take a look. Sun shine's a little bright, but got the towel in there to protect it. I'm going to switch this camera around and do it from the other view, so bear with me a sec. Alright, I switched the camera around. I wanted to kind of shadow the piece of meat. The sun's shining pretty bright today, but as you can see, I covered it up with that hand towel to protect it. I did spray it with Pam or cooking spray. We got a really good rub on there, 2 rubs. It could create a really nice bark. And we're going to leave her like that. We're going to check back out on her in about an hour, give her a spritz bath. Basically got, again, some red wine and apple juice in a spritzer, and we're going to hit it about every hour or so because it's got a tendency to dry out. We don't want it to dry out. So we're going to go ahead and close her up and get to cooking. And remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking. So it's been about an hour now since it's been on. So I want you to take a look at it, and you can see that it's going to need to be spritzed a little bit. But it smells great and it's coming along pretty good. I mean, as you can see, it's getting brown, getting a little dry. It's time to give it a spritz. I put some fresh rub on it to kind of help build a bark. Now we're going to go ahead and give it a spritz. get it moistened up a little bit. We're going to keep it protected over there as far as the paper towel, not paper towel, but the little rag towel. But we're going to give it a good coat and build up some moisture. Keep it going, because this guy's going to be in there for at least another 3 hours. So we got to keep checking it about every hour or so. Build up some moisture. Keep it from burning, drying out. Okay? Check back with you in a few hours. Alright guys, this is the part where I took it off the grill, off the smoker. It was on there about 3 hours at 250 degrees. As you can see, there's a really nice bark built up on it. The towel protected this part from burning. We're going to go ahead and take that off now. You don't need that anymore. We're going to go ahead and get our probe put in, because now we're going to be monitoring temp. We're shooting for 198 degrees, so I want to go into the meaty part right here, not on the bone. So we get that probe in there pretty good, and then we're going to go ahead and get her wrapped in aluminum foil. Before I do that, I'm going to take some Golden Magic Parquet butter. I do the same thing to my ribs. I just kind of put a little bit on there, so as it's steaming and cooking to temp, them fats and juices and flavor just kind of sinks in to the rub. I'm going to put some more seasoning on it, and that's just going to render down into it. And then we'll catch you then. So we're going to wrap her up in foil and get her back on the grill. So here it is in the foil. What I wanted to show you too is I've got a little metal grate that I wrapped in foil that I have underneath. So it's going to sit on there as it sits back on the pit in the foil to come up the temp. It's a little easier to make it carry back and forth. But these are little tricks that you can use to make this an easy cook for you. Alright, so now you can see that it's all wrapped up and on that little grill thing that I told you. Got the probe in, coming out, going down. If you take a look at this right now, yeah, the temperature of the unit, it's 207, 206. We're going to get it back up to 250. We hit this button right here. It's going to tell us that the probe temp about 121 degrees. Would have liked it been about 170, but we're shooting for 198 degree internal temp, not external temp. So again, we're at currently 123. It's going to take a while to get up to 198. We'll check back with you later. Probably going to take another 2-3 hours. All right, so we just took it off the pit. I just opened it up. It's got to hang out here for about 10 minutes. You see all that juice collected. What we're going to do is we're going to glaze it up. I'm going to put some honey on it, some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and then we'll put it back on for about 15 minutes. And I tell you what, it is delicious, and just pulling apart really, really easy. The bones are exposed because it broke down really well. I know this backbone just will pop right out. I mean, that's your internal thermometer right there. So it's definitely ready to go. We just need to get the glaze on it and start eating. I'll show you how it looks when it's all glazed up in a second. All right, everybody. Here's the finished product. All glazed up. It's very hot. But as you can see, I can just pull the bones right out. Turn this thing around. And I can just break it up. Watch how easy it just falls apart. Just grab that meat and the bark. Pull it apart. That's why they call it pulled pork. Look at the smoke ring, how that cherry penetrated it. So that's the finished product. I'm going to go ahead and pull this thing out, start eating. Hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll certainly go back through the process real quick. 250 degrees on the pit for about 3 hours, 3.5 hours. We'll put the rub on it, take it out, wrap it in foil, put a probe in it, put it back on. Got to bring the internal temperature up to 198 degrees before you pull it back out and glaze it for another 15 and put it on, and then you bring it out, and this is your end result. Hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up for a like, bell icon to get more notifications, and I appreciate it. Remember, keep taking it to the next level.